Howdy, my lemon snouts, my pumpkin snuffles, and my non-binary pyro sprites. It's me! Creed. And today, I am joined by the most... I can remember one of them. Pumpkin snuffle, lemon snout. The most berry-breathed. It's...
Michael.
What's up, Mom?
Why am I berry breath?
Because I'm naming off the scale mates. I need to look up to make sure I got all... I named 4 of them there, but there are 8. Scale mate names. Pyralspite, Professor Pucefoot, Inspector Berrybreath, Duke Pinesnort, Liaison Pumpkin Snuffle, Dr. Honeytongue, and Senator Lemon Snout. There were 7.
I'm telling Joe about Top Gear. The episode we just watched.
More like Schlop Gear. I'm like, right. Game's opening up.
That part where the semi-truck just fucking strolled up all on fire.
I love how casually he got out as well.
So his head came off of his spine because of what he did.
Yes, crashing a truck into a wall.
I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah. Also, I looked it up to see if any of them ever died. No, none of them ever died. Injured, sometimes. Died? No. One of them did get fired, though.
Wait, really?
Yeah, but it was for controversy and not for, like, you know, injury.
Shit, I don't even know if I want to know when I just got into it.
It was mostly about, like, the kind of, like, humor that they kind of do on their show. Things that were very... It was, like, that time where, like, people really weren't comfortable airing that kind of humor anymore. They only got chased out of a country once.
Oh.
Anyways, let's get cracking. This show on the road.
By the way, for some reason, when I looked at your stream at first, I like hallucinated that you had tits like me. Just for a second, it looked like it for some reason to me.
Oh. It happens to the breast of us. Let's go!
Alright, this will probably be the last stream of this game, right? Probably.
No!
Did you say no?
Unless we want to go along with it, probably not.
Really? Okay. Is there actually going to be a third day with like a 4th page of evidence?
Probably.
I guess we'll see.
February 24th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all...
The victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes.
Lana!
Hang on, I need to like... vocal fry. Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed.
I hope they didn't hold you for too long for questioning.
We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though.
So how'd it go?
It says Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain.
A plea bargain? What do you mean by that?
We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma.
Elena, don't tell me you...
Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are.
The sky.
Hmm?
They found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall.
What kind of trace evidence?
Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. Now the trump card of my sleep today. You don't understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're gonna accuse Mr. Marshall?
Where's our Musk card?
Shut up! You have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Guy?
Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Alright, how many old men will I voice today?
February 24th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Cloud number 9.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
The bench is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared.
Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Well, this is one messed up trial.
One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself.
That's what set Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait?
It's like both of us are bluffing, but I guess he's better at it sometimes. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls... the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Why do I call the suspect to the murder more often? Oh, things getting wild from the get-go.
Alright, we got time for him. Will the witness please state his name and occupation?
One second, I'm gonna need a drink for this.
You hear more megaphone feedback? Oh god, yeah. You know they let him bring it in here. They never confiscate anything in this fucking clown house courtroom.
Sibilance. 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 Red leather, yellow leather.
How does that help you?
Yes, sir! I'm Officer Mike Meekin, sir! My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir!
So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
I mean, they are a cop. Sir, it was me, sir! I'm the one who did it! I'll never kill anyone again, sir! You gotta believe me, sir!
Actually, we'd like to hear from
Sir,
you.
what I'm telling, I'm called part of the younger generation, sir! A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend!
Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Help me, sir. Officer Meekins.
Yes, sir?
Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order.
Yes, sir! As you wish! After all, I'm part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir! You can't fault him for lack of enthusiasm.
Wait, can we look? How old is he? Can we look at his thing?
I believe he's 21. Let's see.
Have we looked at him?
Yes, we have. 22.
Oh, okay. What about Mr. Man whose voice I never got down? Oh yeah, we already looked at that.
Here we go, crime report, sir! Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. Fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you?
Do unto others before they do unto you! That's the Meekins family motto, sir!
I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir! He knocked me upside the head, sir! He knocked me up.
So like, he killed him and then he got knocked out?
Presumably, that's what he seems to believe.
The defense may begin its cross-examination. I'm just gonna assume that's one of the things that we have to...
What I need here is more info to work with. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir! I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir! Yikes, now there's a scary thought.
Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir!
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir! The Lovely Police Massacre by Chief of Detective, sir!
Let's see that again.
I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
I see. Sounds like a very important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around. I relocated the Brook Latch to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there?
In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir! I have one right here around my neck! So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! It's this one right here!
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir! It's 4989596! That's my number, sir!
Why did you do that so loud?
I see, huh? Well, then we're 4989596. And show is being used twice!
Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir! The first time is when I relocated the blue badge to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything went settled down.
I see. So it was during that second time when...
Yes, sir! That's when I spotted the man on the security screen! Data enters the ID card record. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir! A knife!
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then?
Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir! I swept my arms like an octopus struggling to detain him! That's offensive to octopuses. That's when I got this gash in my hand! Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked! I grabbed the man by his collar! What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look like the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir! The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him! You took his knife. I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver! Let me try to close my eyes like a man!
What?
Let's see. You must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew...
That's the coat that she was wearing. Yes?
He punched me right in my face, sir! What time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious! Oh, right.
According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too! I look, I'm crying tears of pain!
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir! Your mission? Yes, sir! The Blue Badger, sir! I returned to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. So, he didn't actually describe how he killed him, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim?
I would like to pose a counter question. Was the man this officer murdered really murdered?
Yeah, I was just like...
He states that he fought him and then was unconscious and the body wasn't there anymore. That means he lost the fight.
Maybe he thought that he was killing him because he saw blood in his coat, but even though that was just his own arm's blood, maybe? Also, I'm calling it now. That was Marshall dressed up as Goodman.
He's got a point. Feel free to make predictions like that. Like, you're allowed to, as the coast.
Yes, Officer Meekins?
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this! It was sent to my jail cell! Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir!
The chief?
Delivered it?
What is that? Videotape?
Yeah, it's a newfangled device. They call them VHS. Yes, sir! That's absolutely right, sir! A videotape, sir! Chat, if you can tell me what VHS stands for without looking it up, you get, my undying gratitude.
Check. What do you mean random mass accusation? Marshall's handprint was on the scene of the crime.
We're killing Jaden.
Is that actually it?
I believe so, yes. I'm 90% certain it's video home service. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room!
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. It was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word, murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into?
This has been such a circus of a trial. Why is it playing the music?
Because it keeps playing until the battery dies.
Oh right, I forgot the music's coming out of it. It's diegetic. Holy shit, this is a whole cut. They made a model for that.
Yeah! Again, this is why I'm hyped to play the later ones, to see more shit like this. The 3D model Minkins!
Man.
There's the time of the murder, 15.
Where the fuck did he go? Did he crawl under the camera?
I love this trial.
Did that give us any new information? Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing.
I love how the guy's face was constantly covered by everything in the way.
Yeah, it's like one of those fucking gags like from Home Improvement of the neighbor whose chin you never see.
You do eventually see his face on, I believe, the finale of that show.
Oh shit. How could we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Sir, that's the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir! It's the Blue Badger, sir! Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Security video. Video from the security camera placed in the evidence room.
Yes, well anyway.
I check it. Does it play the video again?
I hope it lets you like go
check
like
this.
fast forward and rewind. There's no fast forward, huh?
No. Oh, I know it doesn't play the music again.
What was? Wait, is that glove in our evidence? The glove that fell out of the locker?
Yeah, the gloves in our evidence.
Tagged evidence from the SL9 incident. Extreme. Well, or 9. Yes, I said it right the first time. Yeah, so that was in that locker. Did we already know that locker was SL9, or?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not any new information.
I mean, I figure it's quite obvious that it was the SL9 locker. It's the one that Goodman opened, and Goodman was the detective for it.
Yeah, I don't know if that told us anything.
Well,
which would be really funny if they went through the effort of making like multiple 3D models and animating that cutscene just for it to not matter. But I'm sure there's something in there.
Did you read this?
Yeah. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and some sort of activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins?
Yes, sir! As you wish, sir!
Was that actually pointless?
Mystery man.
No way. There's no way.
His face can't be clearly seen in the video. But there's no questioning that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
Is that true? Is there anyone else who could have? What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, you must label people as being seen or not seen the man's face. I believe I would have classified as the latter? The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not?
More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see?
It's so relatable.
Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him! I bet my badge on it! But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Well, why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or...
Meekins! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir.
You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you were positive it was him.
About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir! I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past! The only respond to register fingerprints, sir! What kind of methods he's tried?
If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my point, sir! And this too! How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir! From people in the know, sir! People in the know? The workers at the department cafeteria, sir! They keep me informed! They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir!
For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. Sir! If I may say something, sir.
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust the knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough for that, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is... unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
You want to watch the video again and have another look at it?
Look at the evidence. I feel like I remember the video. Like the later evidence.
Attorney's badge, Goodman's ID, King of Prosecutors trophy, Edgeworth's knife, parking stub, blue badger panel, Goodman's autopsy report, Goodman's note, Lena's cell phone, parking lot floor plans, crime photo, victim's shoe, switchblade knife, luminol testing fluid, ID card record, fingerprint set, screwdriver, Goodman's lost item report, evidence room floor plans, rubber glove, evidence lockers, unstable jar. Actually, I clicked on the Marshall's fingerprint and the security video.
I guess let's look at it again.
Okay. Room begin right here. Chillin'.
I like how the blue badger has a baton.
Man walks by.
Oh, that fabric wasn't stuffed in the locker that time, but it is at the end.
See the glove fall out.
I wonder what the significance of the glove is.
Meekins walks by. The gash. Fighting
God, the way the
begins.
flag perfectly covers it.
Meekins is on the floor. And there's a cloth stuck out of that locker.
Did it just disappear?
It started over.
Oh, it started over, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll say there's a problem with it, yeah. I'm just like,
There's a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape,
is it just the fact that we don't see the guy walk back the other way, maybe?
there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video.
Is that not usually our job? He would want me to point it out. He loves when I point my thing.
Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing.
So maybe the game thinks... Well, so maybe the current, like, meta assumption in the case is the assumption that Goodman is on the ground there, but we're figuring out that he actually must have moved because of the cloth and that was shoved in the thing. That's my guess is what we're doing.
Do you want to know what you're trying to prove here?
A contradiction.
Well, yes, but do you want to know more specifically, so you're, like, looking for something particular?
Oh, yeah, what did they say?
You are trying to prove, or at least have a reason to believe that it
could be someone other than Goodman.
That it could be someone other than Goodman. So, based on the information we've heard so far, you need to find something that makes what was stated unreliable. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Oh, now you can, like... So I would still say the cloth, because if it was Goodman, he'd be dead on the ground the whole time. He wouldn't be able to move. The only way that cloth could have got there would be if someone other than Goodman did it, right?
You want me to say that?
Yeah, because Goodman died at the 15-minute mark. I don't know how precise that shit is, though.
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this.
Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise.
The point?
What you are looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman.
Oh, yeah.
I really think that does prove it, though, but I guess that's not what it wants.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That is... Basically,
right to the business trap.
Basically, this failure is basically stating, we understand you've pointed out something's odd, but that's not what you're looking for here.
But it proves that it wasn't him, because if it... Like, that couldn't have been there.
No, it proves that that thing got open, that a cloth appeared in there, but it does not prove that the person might not be Detective Goodman.
No, because it proves that there was a moving body there after the policeman got knocked out.
Well, yeah, we know the body's not there because the body wasn't there. That's an information that everybody's already aware of, that the body wasn't there.
I guess you're saying that the actual killer could have, like, crawled under the camera and, like, dragged the body away at some point?
Yeah, there could have been any number of things, but that's not what you're trying to prove here. You're trying to prove that that the person that you saw in that video might not be Detective Goodman.
Okay. Let's see it again, I suppose.
We'll place him under arrest, sir! Rats. I need to slow down and tackle these things one piece at a time. Now, what do I do? Very well. Let's try this again.
Just remember one thing, Mr. Wright. Every time you point your finger, someone gets hurt.
Says the one pointing his finger at us.
I will now play the security tape. Yes. Like, I'm wondering if it's the glove, but I don't really know how the... Do fingerprints stay on gloves?
Well, the glove fell out of the container.
Yeah, the glove wasn't even outside of it. Like, pause here, maybe? Like, I don't... I don't know. It's not... Go rewind to when he's first walking by the camera and pause there. Why is the rewind so slow?
Because the rewind plays at play speed.
No, I don't see anything weird here. Just play it again, I guess. Maybe pause during this next moment a few times, because it's like a lot of things happen here. Just like pause every few seconds, maybe. Man, I don't know. Like, the only thing I can think to even try is the glove, but I just don't know what the logic behind that is.
I will tell you, the thing that is an issue is a lot more obvious than that. Like, the connection to why it's wrong is a lot more obvious. But it's... The thing that is wrong is something you're probably not thinking of, because it was mentioned once, and you've probably forgotten it. I could show you the court record if you want.
Oh, man. Show me the court record. Wait, rewind a little bit. Rewind a little bit. Like when he's first opening it. Never mind. Yeah, show me the court record.
Attorney's badge, Goodman's ID, King of Prosecutor's trophy, Edward's knife, parking stop, blue badger panel, Goodman's autopsy report, Goodman's note, line of cell phone, parking lot floor plans, crime photo, victim's shoe, switchblade knife, luminol testing fluid, ID card record, fingerprinting set, screwdriver, Goodman's lost item report.
Wait, what's the screwdriver?
This is a screwdriver that Edgeworth was told to take it back to his desk. No, back to his office.
Interesting. Okay.
Goodman's lost item report, evidence room floor plans, the rubber glove.
Let me see that. Let me see the floor plans. What are those two highlighted ones?
Places where we found, bloody handprints.
Okay. I don't think that helps.
Rubber glove, evidence lockers, unstable jar, Marshall's fingerprints.
Wait, rewind to the beginning. I have an idea. There! You know it, right?
I know it.
The light.
It's already open. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this! Officer Meekins! Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker's apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the locker's released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture.
I have 5 chicken nuggets? Okay. I had a spicy Cajun chicken sub from Firehouse Subs earlier. That's pretty good. It even had like a kind of mayonnaise on it, and I still liked it. But it was like their Cajun mayonnaise. It was different.
When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, that's your winding to a little earlier. Take your time, game.
Yeah, why didn't we just do this part first?
Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit.
AF? Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah!
Order! What's the
Cheese
meaning of
pizza.
this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know, it must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh well, just goes to show an officer should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something jammed the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too! There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage.
They used the glove to, like, pry it between the locks so that it wouldn't lock all the way.
Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this.
Like, it's the glove, right? Let's find out. You fucked it. There you go.
Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. We don't get the movie this time.
Let's see it again.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir! It's my spirit that things fell out of doors when opened! I haven't fallen and rolled great distances when I opened my door! We can't be sure. That the item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers when the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
We've all been there, Judge. Let's watch again. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times get stuck on my door when I get on my patrol vehicle, sir. During the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents.
Man, if only there was an object that was really good at those 2 things.
It would need to be an insulator. Oh, man.
Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene.
There just might have been something that fits the description. And if the glove fits, you must acquit. But sir, what's an insulator? I think I finally got this figured out. I could just replace all Meekin's dialogue with sir, and it would basically be the same thing.
Scooby-Doo ass. Let me be right back.
If only there was a material that's really good at insulating electricity. Well, that's what happens when you squeeze the juice. You think they made it 3D as it wasn't going to show them off? Yeah, getting really a whole bunch of Mukuru Ikusaba, the 16th student hidden somewhere in the school vibes going on with this trial so far. Almost like gum, but just not as flavorful. Gum is basically a type of rubber. Just throwing a few sirs and it's Meekins. Raggy.
I'm here.
I was telling chat that I'm getting some serious Mukuru Ikusaba, the 16th student hidden somewhere in the school vibes whenever that videotape plays. Like, yes, we got it. We saw it the first time. You don't need to keep repeating it every 3 seconds.
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence?
It was the Blue Badger. We know what it is.
My attorney's badge.
It was my attorney's badge. I pressed check as represent. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker.
We have a video that displayed it! There's a tag that says SL9 incident. That too! The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. That isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir! Do it up for yourself, sir!
Order! Order! Order!
Honey mustard, just a bottle of it.
So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has demonstrated a possibility, nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Okay, so Marshall went into their... he tried to frame Meekins by making it look like they got into a tussle. And then he went and killed Bruce in the parking lot. Wait, no, someone else killed Bruce in the parking lot. It was a two-man job. It had to have been a two-man job. Maybe.
Let's see. Sir! Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir! Is this a joke?
Very well, begin your testimony.
Mystery Man 2. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. Down at the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. Wait, isn't that after the crime?
No, the
no.
crime was 5:15.
One thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases.
Special cases?
Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
That is an incredibly niche window of crimes.
Yeah.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. This spiky hair.
There were only a few cases up for transfer, and most were cleared up by noon. Alright, I see. Now, let us move on to the cross-examination.
He says, what I want to know is who's that lucky motherfucker who got all 7s for an ID number?
Yeah, that's what we're wondering. Maybe Gant.
Dun, 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 dun. So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as a stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in the bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir.
You have two hands.
Couldn't he use his right hand for that? See, Mako, you're on par with Emma Sky.
Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second.
Is that card hanging from your neck, one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it, sir. What if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of my 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time is my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. Everybody's always going on about, like, ID cards, but where the hell are the ego cards?
At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this.
There should be like an office space where like employees are given ID cards, but if you're like a higher up, you get ego cards, and if you're in charge, you get the super ego card.
Oh.
That would be a based and thematic thing to do.
Please proceed with your testimony.
Let it be noted, this is the record the witness is referring to.
Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman.
What's the matter?
According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor.
Not that prosecutor again.
Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being prosecuted, could I never?
Obvious, that made him blue a murderer! You got the wrong color, kid.
It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. What must be so difficult for him? Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir! You didn't show me any ID card, sir! Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do is show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Well, maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with his ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. Okay. What's the issue?
Oh god, they're saying it's obvious. That means I'm gonna be dumb if I don't get it. Next. Next. Next.
Oh, my bad.
And then... let me see the ID card record again.
So what you thinking, Mako? What you stinking
I'm
thinking?
thinking the dumbass went in there at 4:50 and then left the door open. That's my immediate guess.
That doesn't explain why Bruce Goodman's ID was used on the door at 5:14.
Yeah, also, there'd be no way to prove it anyway. Alright, is there any other evidence relating to the ID card reader?
There's the ID card itself. That's my badge, in case you forgot.
Badge.
There's Goodman's ID card itself.
Look at it, I guess. I don't know. I don't think there's anything on it, really. No. No.
I think you're not thinking obvious enough.
I mean, the obvious thing would be he just stole the card, but I don't know how to like convey that.
Mako, we are currently working off the suspicion that the person who entered this room died inside of this room. And we're stating that he used his ID card to get into the evidence room. Are you following?
Yes.
So what very obvious fact would state that he could not have used an ID card to enter the evidence room? If he died in there and obviously couldn't go anywhere else, what proves that the ID card could not have been there?
Let me see the record again. Alright, so he used his ID to get in and then he was murdered. Or so they say. I don't see what's wrong with that.
I think, as stated, this one is pretty blatant. Don't think too deep into the steps. Think very surface level.
I'm trying. Let me see the testimony again. Next. Next. Next.
There is... Okay. Maybe
How
it's
frustrating is this?
It's... Okay. There is... The piece of evidence has not been looked at yet. You have not looked at it yet.
Okay, let me see again then.
Okay, so...
Back, last page first.
Okay, last page first. Security video. Marshall's fingerprints. Unstable jar.
Wait, I didn't tell you to go. Hang on, let me think.
Okay, yep, take your time. This one is kind of stupid in how, obvious it is.
Previous page.
Rubber glove.
Wait.
Go on.
It's not the vault, the locker, is it?
The locker? You don't need the key card for the locker. The locker only opens with fingerprints. It's unrelated.
But the fact that it was already open could imply that I don't know. What's that missing item report? Is there a time written on it? No. What is Bruce's actual ID?
It's 5842189.
Does this imply that he lost his card because he had a... No, I don't... Go back.
Screwdriver, we got the fingerprinting set, got the ID record, luminol, switchblade knife, shoe, crime photo. Jack, we'll get some, sad speakers in the chat.
Previous page.
Parking lot floor plans, Lana's cell phone, Goodman's note, Goodwin's autopsy report. Blue Badger panel. Parking
What does the
stop.
autopsy say?
Name, age, time of death relatively, cause of death, blood and chest wound, caused by a 4.5-inch knife.
How is this so obvious, but I'm not getting it? I don't understand.
Okay.
What am I trying to prove again? That
You are trying to prove that he did not have his ID card when he because it states that he used the ID card to enter the room. We need to prove that that is not possible. That he could not have had his ID card, or at least not that that he did not have his card to open the door, but Bruce Goodman did not have the ID card to open the door.
I try the missing item one. It doesn't specify that it's a missing ID, but it could be a missing ID.
Good guess, Mako. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins.
That wasn't that obvious.
I get that,
It
but
doesn't
it's...
specify, like, the missing item report doesn't specify what the item is.
Oh, it doesn't specify what the item is, but it implies what the missing item is. It's why I said it's kind of stupid which one this is.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, because the second digit is wrong, but...
Yeah, and crossed out.
Does that... Maybe that means, like, he used to have one that was 5'9", but that one got lost, and he was used to writing it, which is why he had to cross that out? I don't know.
You're putting a bit too much stinking in the thinking, Mako.
Uh,
Oh, I'm not good at waiting, sir! I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Lost item report? It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report.
Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right?
I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order! Order! So now, what does this all mean?
Gabagool. It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order! Order! Order!
Hostile
Does the
bazooka.
prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright.
Bravo?
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There were two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
That is... I guess that's right.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around.
This isn't going to end well.
Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
For clarity, Mako. Eating pizza. I'm not sure if they actually like mentioned it specifically, but the reason the lost item like heavily implies that what he lost was the ID card is because he did not have his ID card handy to write his ID number correctly. If he had his ID card, he could just look at his ID number and write it incorrectly, but he didn't, implying he did not have it.
I guess.
And like they already went to great lengths to show that the characters in this really struggle to remember these numbers.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
Are we implicating Lana again?
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means the murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness? Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
I wouldn't say a trustworthy witness. Ah! I knew that testament was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, I have to do something or else Lana. What'd I do? How did I get myself out of this mess? What are we doing, Mako? How are we gonna get ourselves out of this mess? Mako! Mako, what do we do? What are we doing? How are we gonna get ourselves out of this mess?
Fuck it, we'll just bluff. We'll just bluff again.
As always, we bluff! One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor.
What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven.
Watch me. Of course not. I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap.
What are you talking about?
This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murderer. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amount of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident.
This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh, whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
Prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Billy Bob!
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name?
Marshall.
Emma Sky! I'm sorry, I need to know what happens.
Wait, no, Bruce Goodman.
Bruce Good!
Right, Bruce Goodman.
Mr. Wright, I'm not even going to bother asking you why. I've never seen a more obvious stalk tactic in my entire career.
Mr. Wright, don't you remember what you said this morning? You know, about your trump card? That's right, those bloody fingerprints we found in the evidence room. You have to bring them to testify.
Very well then, Mr. Wright.
Yeah.
Damn this guy! I'm sorry. I was hoping that it didn't have funny dialogue. Okay, we are gonna call Jake Marshall. Officer Jake Marshall.
Wait, who?
Can't let Edward know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say.
The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed.
Subpoena.
Prosecution, please prepare the witness during this time.
Like a fine fillet.
We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess.
I call the slide.
I was more of a monkey bar man.
I don't have the upper arm strength for that. February 24th, 11:32 AM. District Court. Defendant lobby number 2.
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. Seems you figured everything out.
I haven't figured anything out. Anna. You're the one who knows everything!
I'm not.
You always know everything! Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright's trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection. Then how are we representing you?
You did, in fact, ask for a protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
Hi.
Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later.
Wait, take Goshu! What is it?
You got a lot of nerve, pal. Make the detective run all around while on duty. Stop it off and call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey. Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay.
So, have you brought what I asked? Oh, you mean this, right?
A pile of paper. Math homework.
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy.
The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Ray might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
Miss Sky was a witness? SL9 incident files. Files for the Joe Dark killings, solved 2 years ago.
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders.
Let's check our new item. Incident number SL9. Closed. Perpetrator, Joe Dark. Crime, serial murder. Sentence, death. Victims, Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Head prosecutor, Miles Edgeworth. Witnesses, Lana Sky, Emma Sky.
Wait, go back again.
I cannot go back. We need to start this entire thing over.
Wait, who was the marshal? Was that a victim or... Yeah, right?
We will read it again. Career Joe Dark, serial murder since death. Victims, Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be important.
Trial data, head prosecutor, Miles Edgeworth. Witnesses, Lana Sky, Emma Sky. Investigative Task Force. Executive Investigators, Damon Gant, Lana Sky. Head Investigator, Bruce Goodman. Investigators, Jake Marshall, Angel Starr.
Okay.
You read this?
Yeah. Oh, what? Now that I've brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name is in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana! This SL9 incident, is that?
That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
I can't believe Joe would do this. The Joe Dark? No, Lana! It's over with! No! Emma, wait! She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, Belle, but I'm out of here.
I'm out of here!
I'm out of here.
The only good thing to come from that game! Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't just be a coincidence.
Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck.
I'll take a good look at this file. To be continued. That's where we're gonna end the stream. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That was relatively quick. Wait, actually, we've been live for like over an hour.
Yes, an hour 28-9.
I got a small bag of spicy dill pickle chips I got from the Firehouse subs. I cannot wait to eat a later.
I wish I had a sub. February 24th.
I just like, there was a part of my brain that wanted to mention this really funny road name that I saw earlier today, but then I was like, wait, I'm not supposed to say things like that on stream.
Funny
tell you
road
later.
names. Dick Road. Penis Avenue. Speaking of roads, well, earlier today, I had to go and get my sister, as I usually oft am to do, and my tire blew on the highway, and I had to like pull over, and I had to wait out there for my dad to come and help me because we didn't have the proper tool to be able to replace the tire out there. So he had to come over and help it out, and we got the spare tire on there, and I went on my way, got my sister, took her to the police station, the usual, and then I had to do some shopping. And when I finished up and started leaving, I realized there was an odd noise. And I look out the window towards the tire and see it's flat. And I've been driving on a flat. So I was like, okay, got to pull over to the air pump by a nearby gas station. The air pump out of service. And so I was like, okay, well, that's annoying. So I call up my dad. He's like, hey, can you help? Again. He's like, okay. He comes, but he takes forever because his car doesn't have an air compressor that'd be able to be used out there, so he needs to go buy a new air compressor that works off of a car's lighter slot. We do that and start filling it up, except the tire's not fit in the rim properly, so it's not usable. It's not going to hold the air, and so he goes to 3 different places that sell tires, and none of them have a tire that fit my car. And the next time that one, the only place that has one is like a couple towns over, and they're not open again until Monday. So it's just like, so he came back and was like, okay, I'm going to try to get this tire fixed. So eventually he got the tire fixed, and I got it, and I put it back on, and we got to be able to drive home. The entire ordeal took 3 hours, involved sitting inside of a cold car in a parking lot. So yeah, now I need to figure out where the money for a new tire is going to come from.
Cold car, first of all, wow, it is, I'm gonna be honest, that was like so much like bullshit that I didn't even really register a lot of it, but that sounded horrible. Also, the cold car in parking lot reminds me, remember when your car, when
you murdered the battery of my car?
I didn't know about, listen, it was so fucking cold, I literally didn't sleep. I was just like there the entire night, just like shivering and suffering, unable to fall asleep because I was too cold to sleep.
Okay, so like months ago, me and the Muck went to go hit up the wildness that is Atlantic City, because of course we were heading to a Shrek rave.
That's not why we were, well, that is kind of why you were there, actually.
I was there for the Shrek rave. I dropped everything to drive several hours to see a Shrek rave, Mako. I know what I'm about.
And we didn't even really participate in it. We mostly just wandered around the hotel and like, we're like, damn, this is for people who are richer than us. This is crazy.
I had a great time. There was a rainforest cafe.
Oh yeah, we did go to that. That's right. That was worth it.
But yeah, a bit of a sensory overload at times, but you know, it happens. But after that, we needed to stay the night, and the best possible options, of course, staying inside of a car overnight in a parking lot and hoping nobody notices.
Yeah, I learned that Avery had no plan for like how to spend the night, like once they got there.
No, I had a plan. It was that exact thing I stated.
Oh, just sleeping in the car, okay.
Yeah. I've slept in a car before. It happens. It's gonna be cold. You know, bit of frostbite never hurt.
Hang on. Why did I stay with you in the car instead of going to the house again with my other friend?
I think that they didn't want too many people over there. Or
no, I was allowed there, but like couldn't I have done that while you just slept alone in the car?
I think maybe you didn't want to leave me alone.
Oh, I was like, nice? Okay. Okay.
That was a stupid decision on your part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it kind of
this-
was actually.
So there we are, chilling out, you know, snoozing in the car, trying our best. And Mako is of course cold, and so half asleep me is like, okay, we could turn on the heat. You can just turn the heat on. And I failed to mention to Mako that do not leave the car on, the battery will die. And so next morning, the battery was dead. And we had to
I don't know anything about cars.
and we had to spend like several hours just chilling in a parking lot, going to nearby stores and whatnot to just mull around while we worked to try to figure out how to get the car functional again.
Man, when we were waiting for that, it was Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or something. We were waiting for it to open, and when it opened and I went in there and there was heating, it was the best feeling ever.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was a phenomenal moment. Everybody clapped.
Yeah, jumper cables. We ended up having to have our friend drive back out there, which we were kind of planning on doing anyway, because Rainforest Cafe was like that was when we were gonna do it. To give us a jump start.
Good times, good times. I should come and visit again sometime. It's been too long. Anyways.
Yeah, that was like last month for the record, for anyone who didn't know the joke they just made. But also, definitely in the spring or the summer.
February 24th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, Skibbity Toilet number 9. We have lost our emotional support assistant.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
I was about to say your cursor was in the middle of the screen, and then I realized it was mine.
You fucking dinkus. That's it. You're being put in a cave.
What? What just for that? When did my stats get this big?
Emma didn't come back.
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Alright.
Is he allowed to drink in a courtroom?
Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization.
I'm genuinely curious how they did this in the Japanese version, because clearly his thing is like, he's a Wild West American. But how do they do that in, like, kanji? In katakana? Do they have to, like, write out the sounds for the phrase yee-haw, which is a moe thing for an American to say?
Stop saying that. Plato's cave, but you don't know if the shadows are your own tits or not?
Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
We should, like... That's actually a great idea. We should get, like, witnesses drunk.
I don't think you can do.
Then they'll be more willing to spill the beans, because they have less inhibitions. Their brain won't stop them before they say things they're not supposed to say. Howling wind? I've never heard Ezra described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place.
Can't prove that.
Is this correct? Going to the Vipers, partner. What do you mean? Desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English.
Day of the crime.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. He said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, we're protected by 2 security systems anyway. I remember, I was a street side saloon at the time it was down. When we went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man. You're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
What the fuck are you saying?
He says he's gotta go, so like hurry this shit the fuck up.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Absolutely power play on that one, but fair enough. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean security cameras and an ID card reader. I reckon even a cowboy like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickey is those?
Penrose, stop playing Ultra Kill and come back here and watch me solve crime. He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines or with following orders.
So naturally, put him in charge of the high-tech security facility.
Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
Oh, I actually called him prosecutor, not prospector.
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
Let's do this thing! How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room?
I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. The room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was the caretaker who interred the recordings.
You interred them?
The videos of nothing aren't that useful. Time to cut them, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I erased the tape, it felt like I was erasing part of my life.
This guy's a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. No desperado, I know less rules get in his way.
You are an officer! The desperados I know joined the police force. You know desperados?
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime... just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day.
Oh, did you now?
There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. You know anything about that? This is our partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that grip in weeks.
How does this guy avoid being fired?
I must read that for some reason.
You used to be a detective, so you've used evidence rooms in the past, correct?
Oh, back in the day, my locker was a gold mounted.
And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism?
Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. Couldn't even tell you how a bike works.
That is not good. Bikes are not a complicated mechanism. It's a pedal and a chain and a wheel. You rotate one thing, it rotates the other thing. You now know how a bike works. Rurum, stop sending me Steam messages!
I fucking defriend them. What are they doing there?
Why are you showing me pictures of people making out and fighting?
Why are they on your friends list?
Why would they not be on my friends list? I'm setting myself to do not disturb. It's quite incredible.
The sensors in the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence.
Now that he mentions it, Detective Grimshy says something like that too.
At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place?
What were you doing at a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti. I knew an Angel's steak lunch is gonna beat that parlor's Van Gogh sepia pasta.
That's probably how those words are pronounced, Mako.
Hey, it's how he'd probably pronounce it.
Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? And not all desperados eat tacos, partner.
I wish I had a taco.
That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson.
I haven't had tacos in months. That's strange. Usually Wright says, "Did you not want to raise this year?" Out of ammo, Officer Marshall?
That's right, partner. Or as you would call it, evidence. Plan to pin me to this crime, better draw. Otherwise, just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Dex don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that.
Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Praise, though, better up the ante. Okay. Where is the error? I keep an eye on the evidence room. They're supposed to make rounds, but they don't do that. It's protected by 2 security systems. I was down by getting spaghetti.
Were the security systems like both working fully, or was one of them having trouble?
As far as we know, both of them were working fully. The cameras were on, and the door lock was reading.
Is there anything we have that pins him to a place that's not the saloon?
Probably.
Like any times or anything like that? Like, did he go, was he on the ID card register?
No.
No.
Is there any way we can prove that he was that he was not by a spaghetti shop?
I mean, I would call up the spaghetti shop and be like, hey, did you see this guy? Because I don't think they'd forget that. And we're not using the handprint yet.
Yeah, because like Wright was like, I don't need to use the trump card yet, which is his fingerprints.
Previous page. Previous page. That trophy doesn't say anything relevant, does it?
No. I think we might just need to send the fingerprints. I think Wright's just a dumbass.
I mean, we can try it.
Yeah.
Oh, why was he saying, like, let's not use the thing yet, then? I don't know.
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you were in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you drag me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints will be in there.
I only wish it were, officer. Well, you see, their fingers were covered in blood.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away, however. A luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the bloodstained fingerprints?
That's the wrong person.
Oh. About the bloodstained fingerprints. Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime.
Bloodstained fingerprints.
Like I say, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Well, didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See? It had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. And that would be fine without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. That's because how do you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said.
That's the lock I used when I was a detective. The lock I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently, this fingerprint data is never removed from the locker's programming. It's been using the fingerprint lock all this time without even knowing it. Marshall's fingerprints. Found in the bloody handprint of Marshall's own locker. The print had been white.
Wait, didn't we already have that evidence?
It's been updated.
What was the update? What changed on it?
Because it's Marshall's own locker.
Oh, okay.
What about the bloody handprint?
It was mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. But I could get covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened.
Didn't that happen? Or 1,000,000 to 1.
I don't know about a million.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. Wanna know why?
Unrelated?
They're different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder.
Or a cartoon.
He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
What? I don't see what hominids have to do with this. How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. Keep up on the report.
There was a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. I found Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion. You starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood. In the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
Security tape.
As long as my trail isn't in there, can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
What do you mean by that?
What tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
The video's next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Things you can't see. Here's packet penning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. I'm familiar with the camera's position. You can leave the room without being caught on tape.
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present. Please do so now. Let's look at the video again.
Like this button, or did it actually like, look at it?
I guess you can. I mean, it's probably gonna show it. So.
Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, when you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall.
Play the animation again!
I wonder if it's the cloth hanging out at the end.
What makes you think that?
I don't really know.
We are trying to prove that Officer Marshall was in this room. Does that prove that Officer Marshall had to have been in this room?
Wait, isn't that his locker?
Yes, Smacko.
Oh, okay, well, yeah.
He in
forgot that
fact
was his
admitted blatantly that it was his locker.
Ah, yes, okay. Meow, 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 meow.
Bring your attention back to the security camera. It's a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon now forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas. So are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. As slow as possible. Honestly, the Blue Badger's a smash. Into pieces. Am I right, gamers?
That's mean to Gumshoe.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened the locker when the camera was turned away.
Order! Order!
It would seem you don't hold your horse. Sorry, partner. You got the wrong thing. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it.
My man. He really isn't familiar with this technology.
Murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. Not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why's everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who could open that particular locker.
Yeah? I call your bluff. say I opened that locker. Now prove it.
I don't even need to ask you for this one. It's just how the locker works.
Yeah.
Fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Mac,
Well?
are you squeaking? What? Avery, am I squeaking?
I don't hear any squeaking. Oh, that might be me. My bad.
Oh?
Sorry, I was rocking in the chair and it squeaks when I do that. Well, Detective Gum should do something about this.
In any case, locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint lock.
Chat, buy me an oil can. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
I only got one word for you, partner. No! Order! Order! Order!
Jerky.
Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Ole, please answer the question.
Why? What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure out the rest here.
We can?
Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Whereas Megan's didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it.
Where was Officer Marshall? Go on.
So the victim is the, Marshall, right?
Yeah. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
There? But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
I called this a pretty long time ago.
You
I
did?
just wanna, yeah.
Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video was Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman.
But that's preposterous! Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. Nope.
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. Let's just write about the man's reaction when confronted.
He also is autistic and does not look directly at people's faces.
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? You don't write sentences like that. Like, it's not grammatically pleasant.
Yes, you would have needed to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it.
I will, call me Piss Boy, just do it, I'll be right back.
Piss boy! So, Chad, how we doing? We having a good time? Can we get a 1-1 in the chat? Piss boy, I'm howling at the moon and pissing in the middle of a summer afternoon. Piss boy, whatever did we do to make it take our piss away? Piss boy, or we are piss alone. Robert's just attempting to partaking by the piss. Piss boy, I won't take it anymore. So take your pissany away. Piss boy, wee 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 wee. Piss boy, wee 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 wee. I'm sorry. Why are you showing me pictures of furries? Hello. Ready for me to continue?
Yeah.
As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his card would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
This is the second time he said that.
Do you have any evidence proving beyond shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
Ugh, this can't be happening. So obviously he's the one. What can I do?
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed.
The cat was bigger. Wait, am I? Oh my god, when did this happen? Is this a new one? I didn't even notice. When the... Help, I cannot move. I can no longer move.
Oh, you don't need to move. You need to read your fucking lines.
I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out.
Captive audience, am I right?
You run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me.
Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it had been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the detective's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the blood stain on his coat is my best guess, because I can't think of what other notable things could be here. Yeah, it's probably the blood stain. Go black.
For some reason, you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet.
Yeah?
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked. Look at the size of that fucking knife. And the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner.
Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, you were only half as persistent then as you are today. We all wouldn't have to be here now would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
Alright. Seems the time has come.
Marshall's confession.
I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I plan to take out the evidence.
One of my favorite things is like just the idea like we were trying to figure out who might have committed a stabbing. Do you think it might be involved with a guy who's constantly shown holding a knife?
Wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. Knocked him out. And managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be?
Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
Wait, so Meekins did wrestle the knife from him?
He did wrestle the knife from him, but he was punched unconscious.
Okay.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation.
I am more tit than man.
When you say tit, you mean...
You even have to ask, partner?
Yes, on 9 incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transfer that day.
Not that I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
The case is closed. Only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
That day was my last chance. That's why
Oh, I didn't mean to... I was trying to click press. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
That didn't make it look like Gooden was carrying out the evidence transfer. I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anyway.
You know, there is still an unanswered question. Why was the glove blocking the door to begin with, I wonder?
That's a fantastic question, Mako.
So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card. And left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
Which would explain why, well, despite him being at the scene of the crime, did not seem to find that evidence even though it was so close to the scene. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself.
But he could because the rubber glove was just happened to get stuck on the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins to try to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. We'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
Why is he even eligible for a raise?
Well, I don't know if he's upset or happy that he, like, mistaken a detective for an intruder and actually, because, like, if not for doing that, we wouldn't have gotten this far into the case. And it gets so much influence. I mean, he is the king of prosecutors.
Just because you, like, something worked out doesn't mean it was a good decision. Like, it wasn't, you know?
Yeah.
Most times that's a bad thing to do.
Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. We'll be knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
Yeah, it's just the knife he's been holding the entire time! No one thought, hey, what person related to the evidence room might have pulled a knife on someone? I don't know, maybe the guy with a knife!
I didn't even think of it.
I don't know what to say.
So you knocked Officer Meekins out and...
Why is he shaving on the stand? He has so much testosterone that his facial hair grows. Like, he gets a 5 o'clock shadow every 2 minutes.
So, you did your research beforehand?
If we go into the desert unprepared, don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. Oh, we're going as planned. No footage would have been left.
However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins.
If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is on that day,
There wasn't any murder in the evidence room. But the blood found on the scene certainly indicates crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape was me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
so you stole the evidence from the locker.
Actually, no, I didn't.
Why not?
I opened the locker. The evidence was already gone.
What? Wow, I didn't mean that. That was like a very normal sounding voice. I didn't mean it to be like that.
Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor.
The victim's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
None of the salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
Read.
Oh, right, this is new.
I can't just forget the SO9 incident. You know why?
Hey, Liz in the chat. I think it was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I have a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is laid in some way to that case. I'm gonna take another look at the files.
Oh, you did, the one that shows his family member dying.
Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
Wanna do some peyote? I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. And a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
Unless you're talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did.
Why is cactus juice portrayed as a hallucinogenic? Well,
The funny thing...
Cactus juice is just a thing you can drink, but some cactuses make you see pretty colors and ground swirl around, and you hear the desert whisper in your ear when you have that cactus juice. Or it might be the cactus itself, I don't know what it is.
Sometimes your mouth is dry and your eyes are red. Deserts in your head.
My eyes are red. I'm sure what I'm saying, cause the desert's in my head. My eyes are taking action.
That's right. He was killed.
Heavy is dead.
And the case fell into your hands.
But what's in relation to you?
He was my brother.
Oh, he was the other one in the picture.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
He was investigating the murders of Damon Gantz, the then deputy chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer.
That looks like a Joe Dark.
Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. Case is finally closed. At least, according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SM9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with this resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department.
Chance? It's gotta be more than just that.
I still think Marshall's trying to frame Meekins.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, then that means the murder in the prosecutor's offing park is...
Offing Parkus?
How did that happen? How the fuck did that happen in my brain?
Is Monk having a Stracco?
Oh god, the IQ tit ratio is true. Oh no.
That means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking...
We're just gonna move on.
Wait, I don't even know what he said. I actually don't even know
That
what he
means
said.
that the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot is the real one.
Chat, the plan is working. Stop calling them moves.
They're boybs.
They're boybs, okay? That's a better term, I think. I don't like the sound of move.
Which in turn means... Which in turn means... only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky.
Wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Gimboification, maybe.
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But
There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police station. It seems to me, the boy's got a draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries of the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
that made my teeth vibrate.
I rest my case.
This is actually my favorite song in the game.
It's a chill vibe.
I know people love Pursuit, and it's really good too, but I just really like the vibe of this one.
It seems as Shiloh's reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant...
There's always one last...
Your Honor! Wait! Fun Ace Attorney fact. The voice clips for characters saying objection, hold it, etc. were recorded by the game devs because they didn't have enough money to hire voice actors. Makes sense, makes sense. Your Honor, wait! Emma? The defense has an objection! A scientific objection!
Who the fuck did they get to voice Von Karma, though?
Right?
Like, was there just, like, 6'7" like, fucking Chad of a man they had at the office working in game dev?
What do you mean? Right.
Mr. Wright. Are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Nice.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it. The names of both Sky Sisters were in that file. That's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found in Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again. So, did you find something? No! Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, the traces of blood are the only clue we have. We can't find something wrong with them. Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone could save Lana, it's you! Me? Oh boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, then it will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that hamper in Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing?
There's no problem. I object.
Do you know what the issue is? What is mysterious about this handprint here? What is wrong with this handprint as we know the case and the police evidence?
Is it the fact that it's on Gumshoe's locker?
No. What happened when we tried to check this handprint?
What do you mean what happened? We tried to check for fingerprints, but there weren't any.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, Emma went back there and tried checking again. Couldn't find anything for fingerprinting on it.
Okay, wait, was this one, so the one on Marshall's locker was scrubbed off, right?
Yes.
But this one wasn't?
This one was not scrubbed off in any way.
Is that what's weird?
That is one weird thing with it, but there's a bit more of a blatant weird thing with it, if you like to try to figure that one out.
Let me see the other handprint again.
There's the other handprint.
Is that a left hand? So it looks like a thumb on the right.
I think that's a right hand, because the pressing of the palm would make that shape.
Okay. Then they're both right hands.
Yeah? It's not really relevant. Anyone could press their hand against the thing. It makes sense they're walking down the pathway, their right hand will go across the lockers. What do we know from the fact that we could not get a reading from it? What were we able to imply?
That the killer was wearing gloves.
Correct. And currently we'd be assuming, like, okay, this bloodstain must have come from, Marshall. But can we prove it wasn't? This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
I'm grasping.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yes, something that when drawn completely changed the meaning of the blood mark.
This locker was behind the Blue Badger, wasn't it?
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time.
You're a smart
Mr.
cookie
Wright.
sometimes.
I think I actually had the thought earlier, what if it's paint? But I don't know.
With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing from the floor plans?
Finally, I was wondering if we'd ever get a chance to use him.
What about that piece of plywood?
The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here.
So?
So, watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well?
Well, what?
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint on this spot of the locker.
What?
We have our emotional support child.
So that means, just what exactly does that mean?
It means it can't be done!
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me! I didn't put them there! Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically! Emma! On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
May sound far-fetched, Your Honor, like the Pokemon, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape, taken by a security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand on which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time... someone bled prior to this struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been. It had to have been... Detective Goodman, when he was really murdered! I love that it's that we go from... We have a murder in the prosecutor's office. There was another simultaneous murder of Goodman at the evidence room. That one wasn't actually a murder. There was in fact a murder of Detective Goodman before the fake murder of Detective Goodman happening at the same time with the other murder of Detective Goodman.
Wait. The time of death was 5:15.
Yes, but now we're saying that there was another killing of Detective Goodman.
But we saw what was happening at 5:15, and Detective Goodman wasn't being murdered at that time. He wasn't being murdered on the video. Are you saying he was murdered elsewhere? The bloodstain was on the video. The bloodstain area.
Not all the blood.
That's ridiculous! I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
This poor man just cannot stop dying! The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake! However, that does not explain the blood mark found in the locker!
So then, assuming this murder you report really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred.
When did the first incident occur?
Guess what I'm confused about.
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
We went from attesting that there are two murders of Goodman that happened at the same time to now there are two murders of Jake Goodman that happened in the same place. That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place? There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? Which shows when the first crime took place.
I'm assuming it's the ID tracker, but I don't. What does it say on that?
We know
well, it's either Miles, Meekins, or Luckyman.
Well, we know at 4:50 was the time that Meekins purportedly brought the Blue Badger into the room. So we know it's any time from this moment earlier. So,
Lucky number 7.
If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card. Oh, the ID card record.
Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel in the evidence room at...
Let's see here. 4:50. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ugh. Oh. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
Jews!
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. Doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminal test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
So wait, did we ever get definitive confirmation that the death was at 5:15, or is it just around that time?
The autopsy report states that the death happened sometime between, I believe it was 5 and 5:30. It's like something an hour and a half of 4 p.m. So anywhere between 4 to 5:30. The reason why they're saying...
I thinking it was definitely 5:15?
The two reasons was Angel Star stated that at exactly 5:15 is when they saw Lana Sky stab the victim, and the other person said it's 5:15 because on the videotape we saw there, at 5:15 is the moment when the fight had ended, presumably with Goodman being killed. So that's why both sides are like, it happened at 5:15.
I see, okay. He died of fucking blood out to death. Also, yeah, I guess we don't know the exact time he died, though, just within an hour and a half before.
We just suspected it was that because all the evidence was saying it was 5:15.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Finally get to find out what number 7 is.
Let's look at the chart again. The only one other card number remaining, 7777777. Also, another thing that kind of like attests to this is we know for a fact, even if Miles Edgeworth was there at 4:40 and committed the murder, we have evidence to prove he was in the prosecutor's garage because of his ticket saying he got there at 5:13. And since we know it's a 30-minute drive, he would not have gotten there. That's too short of an amount of time to make it seem like he was able to commit a murder, then get all the way across town after cleaning everything up.
Talk about a lucky number.
And wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777.
Was that enough sevens?
I said 7. I didn't say...
That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor.
Fucking got him.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present.
What?
Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher.
Did I call it when it was going to be Gant?
Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
You don't have the authority to find somebody's ID number for a murder case? That's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge?
You're all back, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I'd appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself.
In a video game, it's libel.
Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question.
Yes?
No, not to you. Her defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive.
But Lana?
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7777777.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. It's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
The SL9 incident?
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
Let's repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor. I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
What? Lana?
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
But Lana!
Even if it involved forging evidence.
Mako, are you okay with cops forging evidence?
No.
Even if it's to catch serial killers?
No.
Wow, Mako supports serial killers roaming free on the streets.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
No.
No! Order! 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 Order!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir, the chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. To be continued.
Yeah, this is a long one.
Save your progress up to this point. Yay! Well, I guess that'll have to be the end for this stream, and we'll have to wait till Wednesday to continue to finish it.
Yeah, we'll definitely finish it then, right?
I mean, unless you'd prefer we finish it tonight and go for a long stream to make a
I'm
finale.
hungry.
Well, that's okay. I guess we don't have to. I guess everybody will just have to wait for 4 days to get to the actual finale of this game.
Yeah. I mean, this is gonna take like fucking 2 hours or 3, isn't it?
I've been told to watch something. 1 second.
Catnap come to destroy you.
I mean-
don't wake me from my deep sleep. I am Catnap, just looking for some fresh meat.
Please don't show me things anymore. You're banned from talking to me. Check. What was that, Muck?
How long do you think this would take?
3 hours. About as long as it took to do it already.
Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Alrighty. But yeah. Let's see. Liz's fun fact. The reason why this trial ended up being so much longer than the previous ones is because the devs actually forgot how short the cases normally were in Ace Attorney 1. Like,
Oh.
the dev time of this trial was longer than Ace Attorney 1 itself. That makes sense.
Homestuck epilogue moment.
Average Homestuck act length as the thing went on just kept doubling in size. But yeah, in that case, today's most loved viewer is going to be going to Kisa Karasagi, because I always like giving it to people who seem new.
I will do my Everhood stream tomorrow, probably at 3 p.m. Unless Avery's like asleep. Although if that happens, I'll just play Blatro until they're awake. Also, I want to watch another episode of Top Gear.
Let's do that! Anyways, thank you all for coming this evening. I hope you had a wonderful time. We will see you on Monday for more Disco Elysium with Liz, ideally, and on Wednesday for the grand finale of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Good night!
Good night.